Hello there, Lindsay Martin Ellis here. I am so excited to be with you today. I know that it has been a week for me. It's been a day. It's taken a lot of devotion and fortitude and presence for me to be able to show up here for you today. And that is one of my zones of genius. That is one of my favorite things to do, is to normalize the humanness of our spiritual evolution, of leadership, of what it means to evolve and to expand and to continue to live a life of our highest potentiality. And so let's just take a moment, and we'll go into this a bit later, but can you put your hands on your body for a moment, coming back into time and space in this form of our body temple? We are bound by energy, which means we are bound by our emotions, which means we sometimes get rattled by our external world. And let's all just remember that we get to connect to ourselves and that our relationship with self is the source of everything. And that is the ticket to sovereignty. That is the ticket to embodied co-creation. That is the ticket to unlocking the keys that I'm going to share with you in terms of purpose, partnership, and prosperity, the 3 Ps, that those are often what people come to me for, clients, or just what I'm hearing as I'm listening to other people and what they're seeking, right? They want to know why they're here. They want to know that they're lovable and loved and find partnership and relationship in all of the ways, right? And they want that prosperity, that wealth, that abundance to flourish. So putting our hands on our bodies, taking a deep breath in, filling up our entire being, taking up a little bit more oxygen to, again, just allow that life force to permeate our entire body temple. And exhale everything out with sound, all of the responsibilities, attachments, anything that's in your field in this moment that is not yours, that does not serve you. Maybe you want to just move the body a little bit and surrender, soften, and allow your spine to be erect. Can you stand tall while also softening and surrendering into this moment? So now we're all here. So a lot of what I'm going to talk with you about today is about the pause, is about the stillness, is about the presence in order to unlock all of our desires. And so if you're listening to this, right, you're generally likely a seeker. You may be going through some sort of awakening. You may have had some sort of crisis, right? We all have crises that happen at a micro scale and at a macro scale in the collective, because of our ability to connect all over the world. It's in front of us all the time. Evolution, transformation, and it can be frightening to change because biologically our cells want to stay the same. But our mind wants to keep asking the questions, right? Wants to continue to keep expanding. So there's a paradox that really lives within us. And so my name is Lindsay Martin Ellis. I am a former environmental engineer. I love getting to the root and the foundation of things. And I love understanding, how the biology is also paralleled with the quantum, right? All of it, all of the science and all of the spirituality is really bridging together to what I just now know in my way of being as universal law, consciousness. Just this level of understanding inside my being of like, yes, this is what is. and not needing to fit it in a box and not needing to say that, not needing to put labels on it. And so I believe that through my decade-long career as an environmental engineer truly set me up for this thirst for knowledge and wisdom and understanding, and always asking questions and then receiving new questions and questions being answered with additional questions, and just knowing that I will never know all of the answers and neither will you. So essentially, I traded in my accolades and all of my certifications and the very cerebral, mechanical way of doing life and moving through life, which was, right, I went to college at 17. I graduated cum laude from the University of Florida with an engineering degree, with a minor and a major in engineering and civil and sales engineering, and then ultimately became an environmental engineer. And through that time, I just always felt like this wasn't my path, but I just kept doing it because I was modeled. This is what you do. You move through life and you go to college and then you get married and then you have kids. And most of the people around me didn't really love what they did for a living. And it was just like this suffering that I felt and witnessed all around me. And I always felt from a very young age that I didn't believe that we came here to suffer, but I also didn't really know how that I didn't have the tools yet. So fast forward a couple of years into my engineering career, I started having these massive health symptoms, hormone imbalance, just debilitating chronic symptoms and illness, was on all these medications, was from doctor to doctor. And finally, actually, it was when I met my now husband and I got engaged, there was this moment of, what am I doing with my life? I was 30 years old and I felt so not in my body. I felt so disconnected. I had all of this success. So I was climbing my way up the corporate ladder in engineering and I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt like I was dying. It's like the more success I had, the more money I made, the more my body was screaming at me, and the more that I felt inadequate, the more that I felt like something was missing. And I was like, I cannot do life like this. This is not why I came here. And it was in this moment I'll never forget. And I have full body chills right now every time I tell this story, that I just claimed it and declared it for myself, that I was ready to be sovereign over my body, over my choices. And it was a wild ride of truly becoming my own advocate. And there's so much more to the story. I'm all over social media. I've got my website, lindsaymartinellis.com. I've got my podcast, Soulshine Radio, where you'll be able to hear more of my story. But I really just want to present that the way that whatever we want to call that universal intelligence, God, consciousness, source, spirit, universal love, it doesn't matter. Whatever you feel, if you're here, you feel that there's some higher intelligence at play here, right? And so that is what that universal intelligence, which I don't really like to put labels on things because I feel sometimes it often limits us, but we'll just call the intelligence source. All of these physical symptoms happening in my body was source reminding me that I get to course correct, that I was out of alignment, that I was actually going down the wrong path, that was not in service to my highest timeline, that was not in service to why I came here and who I came here to be. And so this is how we transmute pain to purpose. This is how we transform our wounds into wisdom. We hurt in this 3D plane. We experience pain. We experience shadow. It is a necessary aspect of our evolution. For example, if we didn't have the night, we wouldn't be excited to see the rise of the sun and the new day. If we didn't have the moon, right, we wouldn't know what it's like to appreciate the sun, and vice versa. right? If we didn't have the grief, we wouldn't understand what it's like to experience love. And so that point in time where my body was truly screaming at me was an opportunity for me to feel all of it. And I was in it, and I was questioning, and I was wanting to quit, and I was in victim, right? And I felt it all so that I could then move the energy and move through it, so that I could then be the observer, so that I could have a level of acceptance of where I was, which allowed me to break through and served as the catalyst of what is here for me? What is next for me? Why is this happening for me and through me? So that I could then be in the celebration and the joy and be in that aligned, course corrected state. So oftentimes the way that the universe, God, again, doesn't matter, delivers these cosmic 2x4s is through the body, through dis-ease in the body, right? The body communicating to us, and also through relationship. And so this is so important, because within 6 months of me claiming autonomy over myself, capital S, I healed all of my physical symptoms. I've been medication free ever since. And what it did was, first it started as more of this physical healing, and then it started to, segue into my emotional body. And then it started to segue on a spiritual level. Left my job. I now teach embodiment for beings all over the world to truly help them heal their relationship with themselves through the body in this way of homecoming, so that you have choice, so that you have that true liberated feeling, so that you feel confident and you have this unshakable trust in what is, no matter what is happening in your external world. Because it's not that the pain goes away. It's not that the things around you all of a sudden come into homeostasis. It's that your relationship with what's happening externally shifts. It no longer has the same effect on you. And this comes through practice, and it comes through getting it wrong, and it comes through being messy, right? It comes through the experimentation. So we're meant to try things on. We're meant to fail forward. We're meant to fall flat on our face again, so that we know, ooh, okay, here I am, here I am, here I am. Here's alignment. Here's attunement. Here's what it feels like to be in choice. Here's what it feels like to be in my body. And that's the ticket. And so in my life, I've had near-death experiences. I lost a childhood best friend. I've had massive, dark nights of the soul, leaving corporate, switching careers. I've switched my career path multiple times within my business. Just when I think that I've got it and I'm successful, right? It, like, something happens and the rug gets pulled out from underneath me. And I wouldn't have traded any aspect of my life. I would not take any of it back, because I would not be who I am in this moment right now, sharing my lens, my perspective to support you. And so everything must happen through the body. Knowledge is external. Wisdom is from within. It's a knowing. It's how we move from belief, which is, again, through the masculine mental cerebral approach, versus true knowing, feeling through the body. And that is through practice. It's through practice and learning how to feel again. So if you want to learn how to co-create with the universe, right? This is where we learn to not resist how the universe delivers messages to support us back on our path. And our purpose is a way of being, which then can dictate, as a byproduct, our life's work, right? Our relationship with others is a byproduct of our relationship with ourself, our true self, our essence in our purest form. And our prosperity is our, like, what we manifest in the material world what we bring into form is a byproduct of how prosperous we feel, how alive we feel in our bodies, how worthy we feel, because we are already worthy. It's just a matter of knowing it and believing it, that we are human and flawed and are messy and sometimes get triggered. And we are also divine and holy and human and have so much potential. And all beings on this planet hold all of that. And so this is how we learn to have more compassion, to walk with an open heart, to take action, even when it feels scary. I'm afraid all of the time, but I do it anyway, because again, my relationship to the fear shifts. And so it's interesting. I wasn't going to take you through this practice, but what's coming through in this moment feels like I get to support you in moving through fear, because fear is a very dense resonance, right? It's not bad, but it's there. So I want to support you in this. So for a moment, right, we've already dropped in, and this is also the power of trusting self and trusting what, whoever's tuning into this, whether it's in real time or on a recording or later on a podcast or whatever it is, trusting that I'm receiving because I'm connected with myself. And I always set intention. So this is something that can support you, is how can I be of greatest service to the collective? How can I be of greatest service to what I truly came here to do and who I truly came here to be? Because when you set that intention, it doesn't matter, right? You can have the trust and faith that what's happening is happening for you and is actually a blessing in disguise and a gift. So setting that intention, putting your hands on body again helps support you in knowing that you're safe. Taking deep breaths in activates the vagus nerve, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, down regulates the nervous system, which talks to the glands, which talks to the hormones. Again, this is all about creating safety so that we can feel. And then I want you for a moment to feel, where does fear live in your body? When I say the word fear, as you're taking these deep breaths in, do you feel like your shoulders tighten? Do you feel like somebody just punched you in the gut? Do you feel like you've left your body and you don't feel grounded and connected to the earth anymore? Just notice. And if you don't know, that's okay too. You can just say, I don't know. Show me. Simply asking the question at times can be the most supportive. So once you have it, then I want you to see if you can visualize the texture of it. Is it gritty? What's the color? Is it dark? Does it look like mud? Is it stringy? Does it feel like you're carrying a bunch of rocks on your back, like a backpack? And just being with that, feeling it, allowing the emotions to come up, being at peace with the frustration. And what does the frustration want to do? Do you want to clench your fists? Do you want to cry? Do you want to let out a big roar? Ugh, I do that all the time. Do you just want to let it out? The energy just wants to move so that you can then be in relationship with the fear, with the grittiness and the texture of physically what that density feels like in your body and how much capacity it's taking up. Beautiful. And then can you just say, I allow myself to be exactly as I am, to be in pure acceptance, not trying to fix it, not trying to figure it out, not wishing it were any different. And that was my timer as we're nearing an end here. And the beauty of distraction, did the distraction pull you out? Because this is the world that we're in. I love distractions because it reminds me that this is life. Timers go off, dogs bark, delivery drivers knock at the door. Can you come back into, I allow myself to be exactly as I am? And can you ask, what is this fear trying to tell me? And the first thing that pops into your field is truth, because this is your body connected to presence. So write it down. You can journal on it later. And then you can start to build a vision, and you can start to get excited about what this fear is trying to teach you, right? What's underneath that that's unlocking this next piece of your purpose of partnership of prosperity, right? This internal work is how we unlock everything that we desire. It's not going to come from the mind. It's going to come from practicing going within, feeling, asking the questions, slowing down, being with yourself, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when, we go into the patterns of wanting to numb and avoid and watch the Netflix and do all of the things. That's okay. We can fall off, but can you keep coming back to asking the question so that you can then be in celebration? So thanking yourself, having a smile on your face right now, being excited to be alive of, again, this beautiful blessing in disguise that this fear is trying to teach you. And can you make all of this potentiality, all of this celebration, all that you're visioning right now bigger than your fear? Right? So what is the texture of that fear, right? And what is the texture of what it feels like to be in acceptance, to be in allowance, to be into possibility, to be in celebration? What is the color of that? Is it lighter? Is it colors of the rainbow? Is it sparkly? And can you just make that resonance bigger than your fear? And so the fear is there. The fear is a part of you, but it no longer has the same hold. So this is integration of wholeness. This is embodied co-creation. This is how we learn to partner with that divine intelligence and our divinity in our human form to continue to unlock what is next for us. And how we access our purpose and how we uncover true partnership and who's meant for us on a relationship level, whether it be through romantic partnership or business partnership or whatever it is. And again, through that prosperity frequency, is the deeper that we go in, the more we ascend and the more we uncover all of these questions. And it becomes more easeful and it becomes simpler, and you learn to dance with the flow of life and the pulse of the universe and this planet. And you learn to welcome the sorrows and the hurt and the pain, even though it's not comfortable. So we're not bypassing, we're feeling so that we can uncover the gold that's underneath that. So I hope this practice supports you. And there is a quiz that's being offered as a part of this beautiful event to unlock your divine purpose. So I'm certified in human design, and I love the gene keys, and I love just learning about these beautiful blueprints and tools and modalities that bring us back into alignment, right? So we have all of these beautiful tools, energetic and spiritual tools and things that exist. Ancient wisdom meets modern technology and all of the things, right? We have all of that access, and it's not the way. It's meant to remind us, yes, this is who I am. I remember. And then we get to practice. We get to do the inner exploration. We get to keep coming back into our bodies. So I hope that this teaching supported you, this practice supported you, you can find me on all social media platforms at Lindsay Martin Ellis. That's Lindsay with an A, Martin with an E, lindsaymartinellis.com. Again, I've got podcasts, blogs. I share on social media just about every single day. I also have, an email list. I have all of these support tools that are available to you to keep coming back to self, so that I can just, right? I am just one person through one experience, perspective, lens, right? Through my avatar, through my filter, to help you open the door that already exists within you. So none of us are doing anything for you. We are all supporting each other and walking each other home. And it is my honor. It is a gift. It was a lot of pain and heartache and frustration and for me to finally be in this place of truly loving myself unconditionally, loving who I am, loving what I do, loving being of service, loving being alive during this time. And I still have my moments, of course, my human moments, but I always know how to come back to center, and it's through practice. And eventually your body will start to turn on a new autopilot that will then remember how to deprogram and reprogram. It's all through the body. So I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please reach out and let me know how this supported you. Take the quiz. Looking forward to supporting you in the future. Much love.